Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Happy New Year, and welcome to our reorganization meeting, the first meeting of the year, January 1st, 2024. Our first order of business is a call to order of the 2023 Council. So, would you like to call to order? Sure. And arise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, we will have a reading of the Sunshine Statement and roll call of our 2023 Council by our Deputy Clerk, Mrs. Lauren Statz.
This meeting of the Denellen Borough Council is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. This meeting of January 1st, 2024 was advertised in the Courier on January 5th, 2023, and as a teleconference was noticed on the official Denellen website on December 20th, 2023, on the public bulletin board on North Ave on December 20th, 2023, and again advertised in the Courier on December 24th, 2023. Mayor Salento?
Present.
Mrs. Albertson?
Here.
Dr. Dunn? Noted absent. Mr. Paulchon?
Here.
Council President Rios?
Here.
Mr. Sigmund?
Here.
Mr. Vandermark?
Here.
Item number 4 on our agenda is the adjournment of our 2023 Council. Can I have a motion and a second?
Move it.
Second, Rios.
Roll call.
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mr. Paulchon?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
And Mr. Vandermark?
Yes.
Item number 5 on our agenda is the oath of office for my office, Councilmember Hal Vandermark and Councilmember-elect Chrysalidis Lance. We will be led by Assemblywoman Michelle Matsakudis heading the oath of office. So, I guess I'm up.
Yes.
Okay.
Bible's up there for you as well.
Bible's already up there.
Yep, and your oath.
You've done this already. There's Julie. Everyone will do this. There we go. Let's do this.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Please repeat after me. I, Jason F. Salento, do solemnly swear
I, Jason F. Salento, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States and in this state,
and to the government established in the United States and this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all duties
perform all duties
of the mayor
of the mayor
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to the best of my abilities, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Now I get to sign my oath, right?
Take care of you.
You may have noticed the cap hat, and this is in honor of my papa who helped me get involved in politics. So every time I've been sworn in since his death, God rest his soul, I've sworn to the Bible on top of his cap hat because it's my way of honoring him and thanking him for helping me get involved. Next, we will have the oath of office for Council Member Crisol Edis Lance. Led by Assemblywoman Michelle Mattek.
Yikes. Short phrases. I think I'm learning, I'm figuring this out real quick. All right, here we go. You ready? Short phrases. Yes. I, Crisol Iris Lance,
I, Crisol Iris Lance,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States and in this state,
in the United States and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all duties
perform all duties
of the office of council member according to the best of my ability.
of the office of council member according to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Sign the blue one. No, the blue one.
Next, we will have the oath of office for Councilmember Hal Vandermark. Crisol, you'll join us right up here. I believe your new folder. The name is hanging right there.
I, Harold Vandermark,
I, Harold Vandermark,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments
and to the government
established in the United States
established within the United States
and in this state,
and in the state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all duties
of the office of council member
of the office of council member
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
I will work it out. So before we continue, I just want to recognize some of the elected officials that are here with us this afternoon. From Legislative District 21, we have Senator John Bramnick. Assemblywoman and Deputy Minority Leader Nancy Munoz. We have Assemblywoman Michelle Matsakudis. We have former Mayor Robert J. Cedar. Former council member for Denellen, Jeremy Lauder. And we have a guest from Summit, Councilwoman Lisa Allen. Scanning the crowd, that's all I see. So sorry if I missed you, but thank you for being here today. And at this moment, we will open the floor to Senator John Bramnick, Assemblywoman Nancy Munoz, and Assemblywoman Michelle Matsakudis to say a few words if they so choose.
Well, first of all, thank you. Happy New Year to everyone. We're really pleased that with the redistricting that Denellen got included in District 21. I hope that we will represent you well in Trenton and demonstrate that we have always shown a balanced approach to our legislative initiatives and our work. And we really look forward to getting to know more of you, all of you, and working with you as we go forward. So thank you all, and again, Happy New Year to all of you. And best wishes for the mayor's wife with her upcoming special delivery.
Happy New Year and welcome to District 21. We are so excited that you're here. The three of us are very much looking forward to, as Nancy said, helping you, continuing to work hard for you. We've made it our business to be visible here in Dunellen. That is not going to change. We're going to remain here hardworking and want to help you in any which way that we can, and we also look forward to our business situation.
For those of you who don't know this team, we're the fastest return call in government. You call us, we call you back quickly and try to help you, because that's what government's supposed to do. Sometimes it's not perfect. But I can't help but talk about an observation when the mayor took, is it Papa's hat?
My pop-up, yeah.
You know, most people who run for office, have that kind of warmth in their heart, but sometimes you don't see it. And social media sometimes is overdone, and sometimes the loudest people on social media get all the attention. But in reality, when you have a mayor and council people whose heart is in Denellen, let's try to help them. Nobody's perfect, but I can guarantee you, based on this mayor's heart, you're gonna give 100%. So Happy New Year and God bless.
Thank you, Senator and Assemblywoman. Item number 6 on our agenda is the oath of office for our municipal clerk, Lauren Statz, and I will have the great honor to lead that. Your left. You have to know this. I, Lauren Statz,
I, Lauren Statz,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States and in this state,
and to the governments established in this state and the United States,
under the authority of the people, so help me God.
under the authority of the people, so help me God.
Would you like to sign? Okay. Okay, this is what. Today is a lot of standing, sitting, applauding, and talking, so you're going to be seeing us meet up a few times. Okay. Now, we've all been waiting for. Item number 7 on our agenda is a call to order of the 2024 Council by myself and our new Municipal Clerk and Registrar, Lauren Statz. So, we just have to do a call to order, not a motion.
Right, yep. Mayor Salento.
Present. I guess I was having thoughts. Sorry.
Yeah. Mrs. Albertson.
Here.
Mrs. Lance.
Here.
Mr. Paulchon.
Here.
Mrs. Rios.
Here.
Mr. Sigmund.
Here.
And Mr. Vandermark.
Here.
Okay. Congratulations, everyone. Looking forward to working with you. Item number 8 is the appointment of our borough attorney, William Robertson. So this is a motion and a second.
Correct.
Can we have a motion and a second on this resolution?
Move it.
Albertson.
Second, Sigmund.
Okay,
Can we have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Albertson.
Yes.
Mrs. Lance.
Yes.
Mr. Paulchon.
Yes.
Mrs. Rios.
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund.
Yes.
And Mr. Vandermark.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Robertson is here, and let's do our swearing in. How are you? Here's a pen. Here's a pen. If you want, we can have that read out. Do you want somebody to hold the Bible for you? Yeah. Would you mind holding the Bible for you? Okay. I, William Robertson,
I, William Robertson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States and in this state,
and to the governments established in the United States and in this state,
under the authority of the people, so help me God.
under the authority of the people, so help me God.
Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
You joining me up on the dais. Okay, is Alex next or Council President?
Council President.
Item number 9 is the appointment of a council president. Do we have a nomination?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Terry Albertson.
Any second?
Second that?
Okay. Teresa, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Are there any other nominations to the floor? Without hearing any, we'll take a roll call.
Mrs. Albertson?
Abstain.
You can say yes.
Okay, yep. Mrs. Lance? Mr. Paulton?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
And Mr. Vandermark?
Okay. Congratulations, Council President, and now you get to be sworn in. Assemblywoman, would you like to do the great honor, or Senator? Okay.
Council President, where are you?
There's no one up there for her.
There's not a Council President one out there, but
Oh, will you?
just use the same oath.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was hoping mine.
he's coming.
Just turn around and stand in the middle. Raise your right hand and repeat it. I state your name.
I, Teresa Albertson,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to same,
and allegiance to same,
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Council President
Thank you.
Albertson. Next on our agenda is item number 10, the appointment of Alexander Miller as our Borough Administrator. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
Move it, Randall.
Second, Rios.
Roll call.
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes,
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Paulton?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
And Mr. Vandermark?
Yes.
Okay, I'll have the great honor to administer the oath. Good. Okay. I'll go slow. I, Alexander Miller,
I, Alexander Miller,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I solemnly swear that I support the Constitution of the United States
that I support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and the government established in the United States
and in this state,
and this state,
under the authority of the people,
and the authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. Sure. Let's make this official.
Please sign. You could just give me the rest of those too. Hand me out too.
Okay. Next on the agenda are the appointments of boards and commissions. This requires no votes. We can pass those three out that way, please. And pass those three. I apologize. I did not put them in the packet beforehand. Okay. So Denellen is successful because our volunteers. This year alone, I believe we had over 125 volunteers in our rec programs and our commissions and boards. So at this moment in time, I have the great honor to be able to swear in all the volunteers that are currently here and being appointed to a commission or committee or board or authority. So if you're here, can you please rise and I'll read your oath of office too. Afterwards, you can join Lauren in the recreation office and sign your oath of office. Okay. So, the first part is your name and then the committee in which you are going to be joining. So I'll say I, your name, of, and then committee, and then everything's the same. So, I, member of the, okay, now we're all online. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and to the government established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people, so help me God. Congratulations and thank you for your service. Okay, thank you to everyone who volunteers in our community. Those who are not able to be present, you can join Mrs. Stats at the clerk's office and take your oath of office there and sign your allegiance. Okay. Next is our agenda resolutions. Mrs. Stats, if you can lead us through these, please.
Sure. Resolution number 5 is to appoint Lauren Stats as Public Agency Compliance Officer. Need a motion and a second?
Move it, Sigmund.
Second, Albertson.
Can we have a roll call?
Sure. Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Paulchon?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
And Mr. Vandermark?
Yes.
Resolution number 6 is to approve the list of meeting dates for the Borough Council.
Move it, Sigmund.
Second, Rios.
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Paulchon?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
And Mr. Vandermark?
Yes.
Resolution number 7 is to approve the official list of newspapers for the borough.
Second, Sigmund.
Rios, Sigmund. Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Paulchon?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
Mr. Vandermark?
Yes.
Resolution number 8 is to appoint borough depositories.
Move it, Sigmund.
Second, Rios.
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Paulchon?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
And Mr. Vandermark?
Yes.
Resolution number 9 is to approve the list of employee holidays.
Move it, Sigmund.
Second, Vandermark.
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Paulchon?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
And Mr. Vandermark?
Yes.
Resolution number 10 is to authorize the mayor, municipal clerk, borough administrator, chief financial officer to be eligible signatories for municipal financial documents.
Move it.
Second Rios.
Alderman Rios. Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Pauljohn?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
Mr. Vandermark?
Yes.
Resolution number 11 is to approve the rate of interest for non-payment of taxes, assessments, or other municipal charges.
Move it. Sigmund.
Second, Albertson.
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Pauljohn?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
Mr. Vandermark?
Yes.
Resolution number 12 to authorize the tax collector to cancel tax refunds and delinquencies below $10.
Move it, Albertson.
Second. Sigmund.
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Pauljohn?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
And Mr. Vandermark?
Yes.
Resolution number 13 is to approve the temporary budget for calendar year 2024, the municipal budget.
Move it. Second. Sigmund.
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Pauljohn?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios? Okay. Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
And Mr. Vandermark?
Yes.
The red button. Red button.
Resolution number 14 is to approve the temporary budget for calendar year 2024, the sewer utility budget.
Second. Sigmund.
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Pauljohn?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
And Mr. Vandermark?
Yes.
Resolution number 15 is to approve towing contracts for 2024.
Move it. Sigmund.
Second, Rios.
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Pauljohn?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
And Mr. Vandermark?
Yes.
Resolution 16 through 34 will be voted upon in one consent agenda motion, and as there are all appointments for the municipal court and professional services. So do we have a motion and a second?
Second, Albertson.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Pauljohn?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
And Mr. Vandermark?
Yes.
Okay. 31 through 38 will be read individually, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Resolution number 35 is the appointment of RJH Solutions for matters related to information technology.
Move it. Sigmund.
Second, Albertson.
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Pauljohn?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
And Mr. Vandermark?
Yes.
Resolution number 36 is to appoint Kelly Cupid as Denellen's qualified purchasing agent.
Move it. Sigmund.
Second, Rios.
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Pauljohn?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
And Mr. Vandermark?
Yes.
Resolution number 37 is to recognize the appointment of officially elected 2024 line officers and executive officers for the Denellen Fire Department.
Move it, Rios. Second, Albertson.
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Pauljohn?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
And Mr. Vandermark?
Yes.
Give a round of applause for our firefighters.
Resolution number 38 is to appoint Catherine Howes as Denellen Municipal Court Judge.
Move it, Albertson. Second, Rios.
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Pauljon?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
And Mr. Vandermark.
yes,
Resolution number 39 is the appointment of Alexander Miller as Fund Commissioner to the Central Jersey Joint Insurance Fund.
Move it, Sigmund.
Second, Rios.
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Pauljon?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
And Mr. Vandermark.
yes,
Resolution number 40 is to establish a petty cash fund.
Move it, Sigmund.
Second, Rios.
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Pauljon?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
And Mr. Vandermark.
yes,
Resolution number 41 is authorizing the hiring of Delta Strategies LLC for the provisions of consulting services.
Move it, Sigmund.
Second, Albertson.
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Pauljon?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
And Mr. Vandermark.
yes,
Resolution number 42 is to authorize an agreement with AccuSure LLC for a risk management consultant.
Move it, Rios.
Second, Sigmund.
Mrs. Albertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Pauljon?
Yes.
Mrs. Rios?
Yes.
Mr. Sigmund?
Yes.
And Mr. Vandermark.
yes,
Okay.
Okay. At this moment in time, I get to provide the municipal address, and it is shorter than last year, so you're all good standing. I see Mayor Cedar going, thank God. Okay. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Denellen Borough Council and Borough staff, and our distinguished guests. I begin my fifth State of the Borough address by wishing you and yours a happy and healthy new year. I am honored to be here today to begin my second term as the mayor of Denellen. We've accomplished a great deal together over the last 4 years, and I look forward to the jobs ahead of us that we will accomplish. We are privileged to serve this great borough with the amazing people who call it home and the business owners who invest in our community, putting their trust in all of us up here today. A fact we must always keep top of mind. I look forward to working with the members of the Borough Council to accomplish even greater tasks ahead. Teresa Albertson, Joseph Pauljon, Trina Rios, and Daniel Cole Sigmund, as well as Harold Vandermark and Crisol Idis Lance, who I thank and congratulate today on their swearing in. And thank you, Assemblywoman Michelle Matsakudis, for joining us today to swear myself and our council members in, and Senator Bramnick for swearing in our council president. I would also like to extend my thanks and well wishes to Jessica Dunn for her years of service on the Borough Council, and I look forward to working with her in her new volunteer position. Congratulations to Teresa Albertson for being appointed council president. We know you will serve this community with devotion and sincerity. Additionally, thank you to Councilmember Trina Rios for your honorable 2 years of service as council president. I would also like to take a moment to recognize Dr. William M. Robbins, who recently retired from the borough after serving 22 years as municipal clerk and registrar, and eventually our borough administrator, and that's already having served as the library director for 13 years prior. So I believe that's, if I'm doing my math right, 33 years or so altogether. Bill has played an integral part in moving Denellen forward, working tirelessly to ensure our local government provided the best services possible for our constituents. His calm demeanor will be missed at Borough Hall, but we know he's looking forward to endless rounds of golf in the months to come. Thank you, Bill, for your commitment to the Borough of Denellen. Yes. now as one chapter closes, another opens. So I'd like to congratulate Lauren Statz for being appointed Municipal Clerk and Registrar, and Alexander Miller for being appointed Borough Administrator today. Both are dedicated public servants who we all know will work hard to serve the residents and business owners of Dunellen in their new roles. And finally, one last farewell goes to John Bruder Esquire, who served as prosecutor for Dunellen for 4 years, and eventually as our borough attorney for 22 years. John has recently been approved to become a Superior Court judge. Yep. Although we are losing a brilliant legal mind, the state of New Jersey will be gaining a judge who is the epitome of honor and integrity, and who will enforce the law fairly and justly. Thank you, John, for your guidance and friendship. You will be missed. And with that note, I'd like to welcome our new borough attorney, William Robertson, Esquire, to the dais and wish him well in his new role with us. He's already been informed that we have a lot of work ahead of us. There's no slow days here. And ask Alex and Lauren, and is prepared to be busy. Welcome, William. It is my honor to stand before you as your mayor this afternoon to inform you that the state of the borough of Dunellen is strong. Living and doing business in New Jersey's Miracle Mile is a real blessing. We faced unfathomable number of foreordained adversities over the past 4 years, including a global pandemic, Hurricane Ida, the rebuilding of our firehouse, and destructive flooding. Yet our community continued to show up to support one another with generosity, strength, and optimism for the future. We can only be successful when everyone pitches in, and in Dunellen, we know they do. As mayor, I am encouraged and inspired every day by our collective volunteerism and unwavering dedication to continue making Dunellen a wonderful place to call home. So to that end, we accomplished a lot in 2023, including the continuation of historic improvements to our infrastructure, acceptance of sizable grant funds, and the continued revitalization of our downtown. First of note, our commitment to providing cost-effective ways to improve our roads has been paying off, with nearly 8 of 16 miles of municipal-owned roadways being newly paved since 2020. In 2023 alone, this included the completion of nearly 1 mile of road pavement projects through the Middlesex County Mill and Pave program, enabling us to pave Columbia Street, Jaydock Drive, Kennedy Court, Oak Parkway, which desperately needed it, Pearl Place, and Penfield Place, as well as the ability to install new ADA-compliant crosswalks and replace severely damaged curbs. Every road paved has received enhanced striping and signage to ensure traffic and pedestrian safety and enforce speed limits, especially near our schools, parks, and downtown businesses. This year in particular, these enhancements can be seen on Prospect Avenue. Kudos to the residents who advocated for that. They should be recognized. We also collaborated with the school district to build a sidewalk from Pulaski Street near Center Street to Faber School to assist pedestrian access in that area. Protecting the people living in and visiting our 1 square mile is the utmost importance. I would also like to thank the Mayor's Traffic and Pedestrian Safety Task Force for the continued assistance and input on this matter. Yeah. Since being sworn in as mayor in 2020, the borough has been awarded a total of $4,435,460 in grants from state and federal agencies for various road, park, environmental, and transit village projects that have already been or will be implemented over the next 2 years. For 2023, this includes a $529,000 transit village grant for decorating lighting around Route 28 between Madison Avenue and the Middlesex border, and $496,000 for 2nd Street improvements Phase 2 between Madison Avenue and North Washington Avenue from the New Jersey Department of Transportation's municipal aid funds. We also received $436,000 Safe Streets for All grant from the United States Department of Transportation to assess and plan for pedestrian accessibility throughout the borough of Dunellen. Additionally, Dunellen was awarded $170,000 from the Local Transportation Projects Fund by the state of New Jersey to install rectangular rapid flashing beacon lights at the intersections of South Washington Avenue and Orange Street and New Market Road and Grove Street, 2 locations that direly need that. Lastly, we received a $39,600 grant from the U.S. Department of Interior in coordination with the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection and the Lower Raritan Watershed Partnership for a trash trap installation in the Greenbrook to help capture debris and garbage from going upstream of Dunellen. We were honored to be the first in the state of New Jersey to benefit from this pilot program. Through these newly awarded grants, we intend to improve the experience of both residents and visitors with re-envisioned streetscapes, improved roads, and pedestrian accessibility, and the protection of our local environment. We will... We will continue to make strides towards improvements in the borough of Dunellen by applying for grant opportunities that will assist in offsetting the cost of these capital improvement projects. The economic development and revitalization of downtown Dunellen continues with its renaissance, and I say we're in a renaissance, of new investments and small businesses. Over the last 4 years, we've been able to close nearly $68 million in residential, mixed-use, and facade improvement investments in our downtown. With several still to come along Route 28. In 2023, we welcomed 2 new businesses, including a coffee shop, an event hall, several eateries, and a gifts and apparel shop. The Dunellen Downtown Management Organization continues to plan events and beautification projects for North Avenue throughout the year. The nearly fully occupied Dunellen Station project, which we actually have some residents here today, has welcomed hundreds of new residents to its townhomes and apartments, and its retail space now houses Blue Foundry Bank and Kessler Institute for Rehabilitation. And there are 2 locations still available if anybody wants to open a business. These improvements will spur additional investments and increase commercial values of Dunellen's downtown properties, which is essential given that 89% of our tax base is reliant on residential property values. The goal of revitalizing our downtown is first and foremost to help stabilize taxes for residential property owners. So long as we continue to promote and adopt a commerce-friendly mentality that attracts and retains new businesses, investors, and builders, Dunellen's downtown will continue to thrive and increase revenue that helps the borough to offset the tax burden on residents. In addition to our redevelopment efforts, we conducted and or adopted 4 planning initiatives to help guide the borough's decision-making over the next decade on matters related to development, downtown improvement districts, and a Main Street program. As well as working to build out a municipal-wide strategic communication plan. Dunellen's master plan, the blueprint for Dunellen's future development and land use, was amended and adopted this year after its re-examination, focusing on downtown redevelopment and zoning, flooding and stormwater management, sustainability and circulation and accessibility. Secondly, the borough of Dunellen was the first in the state of New Jersey to adopt a climate resiliency plan, which mainly focuses the speech is just going to be longer to keep laughing. No, I lost my place.
Start over.
No, do not say no. Which mainly focuses on ways to mitigate flooding and stormwater runoff through promoting green initiatives and design standards and assessing where and how to develop in the areas prone to flooding. We also worked throughout the year with Sustainable Jersey on a pilot program to help create an equity profile and a municipal communication strategic plan. The fruit of this label will be assessed and hopefully implemented this year. Finally, we worked with a graduate study class led by Dr. David Listikin at the Rutgers-Blaustein School of Planning and Public Policy on the benefits of a downtown improvement district and a Main Street program in Dunellen. These initiatives will help guide the borough in sound decision-making as we continue to grow. Based upon the recommendations from the Master Plan Reexamination and Climate Resiliency Plan, we continue to work with our municipal planners, DMR architects, to amend our redevelopment plan. These amendments include clarifying intended uses throughout the redevelopment area, permitting new uses such as artist live-work studios, larger commercial stores, and larger supermarkets, entertainment venues, institutional uses, and film production studios. The creation of a 12-foot buffers between existing residential areas and new developments, no longer allowing for buildings to go right up to the backyard on property lines. Yep, it is good because they don't deserve it. The creation of workforce housing, and the promotion of green design standards. All of these decisions were based on feedback from residents and business owners through various surveys and public events, a prime example of engaged constituencies impacting policy. The Borough of Denellen also adopted a number of quality of life ordinances designed to improve the aesthetics and peacefulness of our neighborhoods while supporting economic development. Some highlights include a vacant and abandoned properties and storefronts ordinance to establish minimum standards of accountability on owners or other responsible parties of vacant and abandoned structures and storefronts to protect the health, safety, and general welfare of the residents of Denellen. An amended Denellen alcoholic beverages ordinance to allow for restaurants in Denellen to operate their liquor licenses on Saturdays and Sundays to encourage earlier operations such as brunches in these establishments. A new Chapter 152 for the borough entitled Film Industry, setting up a process that motion picture studios must follow in order to film in Denellen. Kudos to Councilmember Howe for helping me out on that. An amended Denellen noise ordinance, making it more enforceable by the police, and now code enforcement, by removing antiquated language. This ordinance was written with the assistance of Chief Daniel Smith, legal counsel, Councilmember Hal Vandermark, again, thank you, and the administration. Therefore, it went through an extensive review by these responsible parties to enforce it. The borough negotiated fair contracts with our labor unions representing our Department of Public Work employees and police officers, in which we work towards mutual agreements and the increase of pay. Denellen's union and non-union employees are now paid at rates similar to or surrounding and comparable municipalities. This will help in attracting and retaining a workforce. In return, the borough was able to negotiate with labor unions as well as establish policy for non-union borough employees that moving forward, employees will have to assist in paying into their health care upon retirement. This is intended to help the borough be fiscally responsible to its taxpayers by having employees contribute to these benefits in retirement, while also continuing to provide quality services to them and pay fair wages to employees. As part of our ongoing effort to promote transparency in government and enhance communications with residents, business owners, and visitors, the borough regularly posts timely updates and virtually broadcasts council meetings, mayoral town halls, and monthly messages from the mayor on our website, as well as hosting monthly walks and talks with the mayor. Residents can also sign up for our e-Notify to receive alerts about important incidents such as emergencies and road closures. Additionally, we updated our council chambers this year to include microphones and new camera system to better record and publicly view meetings in the chambers. The new system's right up there today. It is our responsibility as a governing body to make constituents acutely aware of the happenings within local government, and we will continue to fulfill this mission. We also congratulate and thank the Denellen Downtown Management Organization for continually improving its monthly e-newsletter, Next Stop Denellen, and the Denellen's quarterly newspaper, the Denellen Report, which entered its 13th year of publication. Notably, Denellen was the final 16th contender in the National 2023 Strongest Town Contest. The contest, sponsored by Strong Towns, celebrates communities facing and addressing challenges such as housing, transportation, and economic uncertainty with resilience. I believe it to be a great honor for our square mile borough to be in competition with other towns across our great nation of the United States of America. I would would like to spend some time recognizing in detail the fantastic job our departments, boards, committees, and commissions have been doing to enhance the lives of our residents this year. The Denellen Parks and Recreation Department had another successful and memorable year in 2023, hosting several events and serving nearly 814 youth participants in activities such as basketball, tennis, track, soccer, baseball, softball, flag football, and summer camp. 53 parent and guardian coaches volunteered their time to meet the 6% increase in participation. In its third year, the Hometown Heroes banner program continues to grow downtown. Thank you to Alex Miller and Kelly Cedar for advocating for this program. We are also excited to welcome Kelly to the Parks and Recreation Department this year as a full-time recreation program coordinator. She will undoubtedly do a fantastic job, and I, for one, look forward to hearing her ideas to enhance our recreation programs. Welcome to the team, Kelly. We continue to honor longtime Denellen traditions such as the Memorial Day Parade and Ceremony, our Veterans Day Ceremony, the Christmas tree lighting, and Santa around town. We recognize and appreciate the hard work of Alex Miller and Julie Groff, as well as our Parks and Recreation staff, the Recreation Commission, and all the coaches and volunteers who helped support the department and its programs this year. The Denellen Police Department had an active year with 175 arrests, 3,500 summons issued, 2,400 motor vehicle stops, and the hiring of 2 new officers, Jeffrey Jones and Gary Smith. Detective John D'Angelo received a Emeritus Service Award by the 200 Club of Middlesex County for his part in apprehending a convicted Megan's Law sex offender. The Denellen PBA 146, led by our good friend Joe Dudley back there, the toy drive that I'm going to talk about, led another successful toy drive this year, collecting multiple trailer loads of toys for those in need during the Christmas season. Yep. Our borough is safe because of our officers, and we thank them for the risks they take each and every day to protect our community. Thank you. The Denellen Fire Department continues to serve our borough with honor and bravery. These men and women have shown nothing but grit, patience, and dedication to their jobs as the firehouse, its engines, and its equipment are restored or replaced due to the fire in 2021. We are all looking forward to when they can fully operate out of the soon-to-be George W. Hodgelick Firehouse, which we anticipate will happen later this year. So it's going to happen. And just a notable mention for George Hodgelick, our friend George is going to be, 98 this year? Yeah, something like that. God bless him. He was born and raised here. He drank the water from the Vonnegut Brook, I think. We have the Fountain of Youth here, apparently. We thank the Denellen Rescue Squad for being there in times of great and urgent need for our residents and look forward to their new building at 635 Boundbrook Road. We happily announce that the Denellen Office of Emergency Management received an emergency management grant this year in total of $10,000 under the leadership of OEM Coordinator Homer Mosley Jr. and Deputy OEM and Search Coordinator William Carlson. Denellen's search team continues to remain active and has completed approximately 300 hours of training this year. That's great. Denellen Public Works, under the leadership of Alex Miller, we might have to start having a drinking game every time I mention your name. Under the leadership of Alex Miller and Richard Herkert, hired one full-time employee, Gregory Stocker, to further improve upon the tremendous job they've been doing maintaining borough properties, catch basins, and much more. The Denellen Downtown Management Organization hosted its annual Harvest Fest in Washington Memorial Park, sponsored Denellen Restaurant Week and Spring into Wellness, hosted events such as Shop Small Business Saturday, decorated the downtown for the change of holiday seasons, and hosted several grand openings for new businesses. The Denellen Arts and Culture Commission hosted their annual Art Summer Camp, presented summer concerts and plays in the park, decorated the storefronts for the holidays, and will soon complete a public mural project that will be placed under the Madison Avenue train trestle. Both organizations really helped to brighten the spirit of our Miracle Mile this year. The Denellen Municipal Alliance also held several events informing our community of the Alliance's mission to protect our youth from the effects of drug and alcohol abuse. The Denellen Diversity and Inclusion Committee worked to celebrate Denellen's great diversity, while the Denellen Public Library, a cultural centerpiece of our community, continued to provide youth and adult programming, technological needs, and educational materials to nearly 12,000 visitors to the library in 2023. 2024 marks the 50th anniversary of the Arnold Schwartz Memorial Library, and we anticipate a great year full of celebrations. The Friends of the Denellen Public Library also coordinated their successful outdoor market in Washington Memorial Park this year, with funds from vendor fees benefiting the library. The Denellen Planning Board held many important and successful meetings this year as it continues to be the municipal agency that oversees site plans for redevelopment projects and other zoning-related matters. Thanks to the volunteers who make up the planning board, and thank you to Sharon Roundtree and Lauren Statz for administratively keeping everything moving forward. We're almost there, I promise. There's a lot going on, so we want to recognize that.
I thought you said shorter.
Yeah. The Mayor's Cannabis Task Force sought additional feedback from the community and conducted extensive research regarding the commercialization of cannabis in Denellen before ultimately deciding to recommend to the Mayor and Council that we remain opted out at this time. They will continue studying the outcome of multiple lawsuits that are occurring between municipalities and their applicants to further assist Denellen in making its final decision on the matter. The Denellen Parking Authority saw a strong return of commuters to the train station parking lot and expect this trend to continue in 2024. To increase the ease and convenience of purchasing a daily parking pass, the Parking Authority has begun offering the option of using a mobile app for payment. This app, MPay2Park, can be downloaded on your mobile phone and readily used for your convenience. And our municipal clerks handle dozens of pets licenses, marriage licenses, and much more, while the construction office issued approximately 1,100 permits this year, 350 certificate of occupancies, and completed 1,800 inspections between all subcode officials. Yes, that's a lot of work that they just did. Denellen also saw some of our local establishments, employees, volunteers, and residents recognized state and nationwide. In our business community, Rome Pizza was awarded one of the best New York-style pizzas in the nation and number 2 in New Jersey. Warrior Martial Arts was named one of the top 5 martial arts studios in Central Jersey. Maggie Murray's Pub was recognized as the best Irish pub in Middlesex County. And the Denellen Hotel in Rathskeller was named one of New Jersey's coziest restaurants by NewJersey.com. Denellen resident Jake Mosca hiked the Appalachian Trail in memory of his grandfather, Jim Mosca, and helped to raise funds for the Alzheimer's research. Alex Miller, take a shot, was awarded Public Servant of the Year from the Middlesex County Regional Chamber of Commerce. Recreation Commission Chair Jim Brennan was given the notable honor of being a lifetime service honoree from the New Jersey State Governor's Volunteerism Awards. Kelly Cedar was awarded the Coach of the Year for the Gold Division High School Boys Tennis from the Greater Middlesex Conference. Carrie Johnson was awarded Coach of the Year for the Gold Division High School Girls Soccer from the GMC. And the late Laura Viscuski was honored in memoriam for the Faye S. Mathewson Award from the NJRPA. Our Miracle Mile is filled with amazing people who achieve great things, with the individuals noted above proving that even in small towns, big things do happen. Through collaboration, professionalism, and volunteerism, our employees and our community made great progress for the borough in 2023, while remaining true to our small town values. Now I'd like to share with you just a few tasks on the agenda for Denellen in 2024 and beyond. The construction of the Denellen Station project, as well as other recent investments into the revitalization of our downtown, has led to the increased interest in Denellen from builders and business owners. We anticipate the construction of several residential mixed-use projects this year. It is important to recognize the significance these projects will have in attracting new residents and businesses to Dunellen that will foster an economic boom for our downtown. Our vision and duty is to make Dunellen a better place to live, work, play, and do business in. This year we will make strides in assessing the benefits and implementation of a downtown improvement district. This will assist in marketing, attracting, and retaining businesses in Dunellen, and will provide for greater funding opportunities for beautification projects downtown. To further revitalization in Dunellen, mentioned to you both, we will continue to work with New Jersey's Legislative District 21 representatives, Senator John Bramnick, Assemblywoman Michelle Matsakoutis, and Nancy Munoz, to ensure that New Jersey Transit does not forget about the dire need to modernize our train station. And just a quick note, on day one when I called our friends in LD21, they showed up and they have been fighting with us and for a new train station ever since, so thank you. We will continue to explore ways to save money and streamline municipal services through innovative shared service agreements with nearby municipalities and local agencies. Major infrastructure improvement goals in 2024 will include working with New Jersey American Water and PSC&G on more utility improvements and paving roads, working with Middlesex County on the milling and paving of more streets, working with Piscataway Township on the milling and paving of Center Street, using the New Jersey Department of Transportation municipal aid funds to improve Klein Place, continuing to seek grant opportunities for beautification and infrastructure improvements, advancing the South Avenue culvert rebuild under the New Jersey Transit tracks to alleviate flooding. The funding's in place, the permit's in place, and the easement's in place. So this is happening.
Yes.
Yep. Strongly encourage other internet and cable providers to build out infrastructure in Dunellen to help create competition in this market. I'll say this, two are interested and we've had conversations, so let's hope they raise the capital. Working on ordinances to regulate truck traffic throughout the borough, which we know is a big issue. And developing a student ambassadors program with the high school so our youth can be involved in our committees, commissions, and volunteer programs to gain a better understanding of their local government, as well as host a volunteer picnic day in Dunellen to celebrate and honor our countless volunteers. Kelly, I might be throwing that at you when you finally get on board, okay? We plan to look at ways to enhance public safety with the Dunellen Police Department through the organizational structure of the department and the assessment of the appropriate number of police staffing, with the hopes of adding a traffic control officer and community engagement officer. We also will continue implementing pedestrian and traffic safety measures such as enhanced striping, traffic light signals, and rapid flashing beacon lights at key intersections in Dunellen, as well as a complete and green streets policy alongside our Safe Streets for All assessment. Additionally, we will also be looking at the overall organizational chart and behaviors of the borough government to see where we can have efficiencies so that we can continue to enhance the services for our constituencies. Lastly, this governing body will continue to work closely with department heads to develop a long-term capital improvement plan that will strategically allow for downtown, park, and other capital improvements throughout the next several years. We plan to work with our financial advisors, NW Financial Group LLC, to build out a revenue analysis from the redevelopment projects and work on a debt service payment plan to help alleviate this burden on the taxpayer. Yep. As we have so much to accomplish together moving forward, we will continually be reviewing and updating ordinances too, as needed. I would like to end my address to you today by thanking the borough's administration, staff, and our various boards and commissions and committees. Though there are many I'd like to recognize by name, here are a few individuals, and they work very hard throughout the year, so I'm going to give the time to recognize them by name. William Robbins, our former municipal clerk and borough administrator. Alex Miller, our superintendent of Parks, Recreation, and Public Works, and now borough administrator. Lauren Statz, our new municipal clerk and registrar. Deborah Weaver, our Human Resources Manager, Julie Groff, all recreation staff in the Recreation Commission, Richard Herkert, and all of our Department of Public Works employees, Sharon Roundtree, our Administrative Consultant, John Bruder, our former Borough Attorney, and now William Robertson, our new Borough Attorney, Scott Olson, our Chief Financial Officer, Tax Collector Dawn Hutchinson, Tax Office Clerk Gail Warner, and Tax Assessor Dawn Gutschell, Judge Catherine Howes, Municipal Court Administrator Terry Crisafoli, and Violations Clerk Denise Donato, George Dean and Kenneth Bauden-Distel in our code enforcement, Mike Rossi, Clarabelle, John, Scott, Travis, and Michael in our construction office, Police Chief Daniel Smith, Lieutenant Chris Beenders, Administrative Assistant Debbie Ritchie, and all of our police officers, Chief Jonathan Scott of the Denellen Fire Department and newly sworn in Chief William Scott, and all of their membership, Chief Jeff Best of the Denellen Rescue Squad and all of their membership, OEM Coordinator Homer J. Mosley, Deputy OEM Coordinator William Carlson, and their entire search team and OEM staff. Thank you to all of our government services, employees and volunteers, agencies, including Parking Authority, Planning Board, DDMO, the Mayor's Traffic Pedestrian Safety Task Force, the D&I Committee, DAC, I'm just going to abbreviate them, the Morrow House Committee, Shade Tree, the Library, the Cannabis Task Force, and Denellen Senior Club. In 2023, we had 125 volunteers participate in recreation programs and or borough commissions, committees, and boards. And I hope we continue to build on that number. Denellen's success is truly measured by those who serve our community. Finally, I would like to recognize and thank my family for their unwavering support. I extend my love and gratitude to my wife, Lindsay, for whom without I would not be able to be here today. My thanks and love to my mother and father, sister and brother and their families, which are right over here. And a special thank you again to my pop-pop, from whom without I would not have begun my journey into local politics. Sorry. I am humbled and proud to serve the community that helped raise me and my family. With 2024 to be an extra exciting year, given that Lindsay and I are welcoming our firstborn, a baby girl. That hit harder than I expected. As Mayor of Denellen, I promise to work with all members of the council to ensure responsible and transparent government is delivered to our constituents, with all residents feeling they are fairly represented and welcomed in our Miracle Mile. May we continue to devote our minds and hearts to public service above all else, so that Denellen continues to be a place where our neighbors, friends, and families seek to create the greatness that uniquely defines our community. Thank you for your time today, and I hope you have a happy, healthy, and blessed New Year. Okay. At this moment in time, we'll open the floor for any public comment. We just ask that you please state your name and address. Without hearing any, we will close that portion of the meeting. Now we have some recognitions, which I'm going to go down to the floor for. First up, we have the recognition for years of service for Jonathan Bruder, Esquire. No, it's not John. No, sorry. It's John. Straight John. There we go. Straight John. Okay. So, John's been an integral part of Denellen for not just 22 years as borough attorney, but 27 years because there was an additional 4 years that you were a prosecutor, correct? Correct. So a long time here, and we're sorely going to miss you. So acknowledgement of John Bruder's years of service. Whereas the borough of Denellen would like to express special recognition to John Bruder, Esquire, former borough attorney, for his distinguished 27 years at the borough. And whereas John first embarked on this path out of law school as associate attorney and then accepted a position shortly after to become an assistant prosecutor for Middlesex County. While at Middlesex County, he prosecuted many trials and was a trial team leader as well as a section leader. And whereas in 1996 he returned to private practice where he started his own firm and then began his career with the borough as a municipal prosecutor in January of 1997, which he served for 4 years and then was initially filling in as the borough attorney for his father-in-law, William Gotzi. Gazy, I apologize. Who was then the borough's longtime attorney and in 2001 was appointed by former Mayor Robert J. Cedar to be the official borough attorney in Denellen, a position he served for 23 years. And whereas John has devoted countless hours for the greater good of Denellen and its residents, whether it be attending council meetings, answering questions and researching information on different issues going on in town, or providing exceptional legal advice, John has always had the borough's best interests at heart. And whereas John has served in other municipalities throughout Middlesex County and Somerset County as borough attorney, a municipal prosecutor, he will be deeply missed in the borough of Denellen. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Mayor Jason F. Salento, on behalf of the borough of Denellen, wishes to express sincere appreciation to John Bruder for his loyalty to Denellen over the last 27 years and wish him much happiness as he begins this exciting new chapter in his professional career as being appointed by the Governor of New Jersey to become a Superior Court judge in Somerset County, New Jersey. Congratulations.
I didn't really prepare anything to say because I really didn't know we were doing this. But I've had, as I've sat out in the gallery today, from a different vantage point than I've had for the last 23 reorganization meetings here, I have had a chance to reflect on what it's meant to be the municipal attorney for Denellen. So, since you've read out the number of years I've been here, I can't hide my age. I used to be young when I started here, but I will say that for 4 years I was the municipal prosecutor and had people lining up through that door, and that was the prosecutor's office back there, and you come out and try cases here. But then in 2001, when my father-in-law, William Gazy, got sick, he had been a long-time municipal attorney, and mayor, much like you, he, local boy, grew up in town, and then he got involved in local politics here in Denellen, or local government, I should say, because he became the municipal court judge in his mid-20s here, and served for years as a municipal court judge before becoming a municipal attorney. But he asked me to fill in for him while he was sick, and then unfortunately he passed away later that year. And then at the time, then Mayor Cedar came to me and said, "John, we'd like you to stay on as our municipal attorney." And the reality was, I had tried tons of criminal trials. I knew how to prosecute murder trials and all kinds of cases. I knew how to handle civil cases, personal injury, whatnot. But I was green when it came to municipal law. And I said that to Mayor Cedar. But Bob, you said to me, "John, I have confidence in you. I know you can do it." And I've always been eternally grateful for that confidence that you instilled in me. And because of that, I wanted to work hard for the borough of Denellen to do the best I could to reward that confidence and to show that it was well placed. And for the council each year for supporting me, because then, as you know, the municipal positions, it's a year to year. So thank you, Mayor Cedar, and then Mayor Salento for continuing that confidence in me when you came on. And I remember when you started as a councilman in your early to mid-20s.
20 years old, yeah.
Yeah, 20 years old. It's never, throughout the time I've been here, and what you see is every 2 weeks, got to sit up in that chair for the last 23 years. That really reflects 1% of what the governing body does. The 99% of what they do is behind the scenes. And it's never escaped me throughout the time that I have been serving as a municipal attorney and working hard for the Denellen, that I get paid to do what I'm doing. The people that really deserve the appreciation and gratitude are everybody else, the council members and the mayor who work so hard, and they give the most important commodity they have, which is their time. And it's not free time, because they invest lots of time that they don't otherwise have. And they do that a lot of times without thanks. They do that without compensation, and they work hard for the borough of Denellen. And while the council members don't always agree on every issue, they all do have and share that same common goal, which is to do what's best for the borough of Denellen. So a great thanks to the council for all of those efforts. The last thing I will say is that, as I mentioned, my father-in-law held the position of municipal attorney for many years. Then he passed that mantle on to me. And then I held it for the last 23 years. And now I'm passing it on to you, Bill. And I will say I feel very confident and grateful that that someone else is taking over who is such an excellent attorney. We heard from former Governor DeFrancesco, who had recommended Bill for the job, and Senator Bateman, who had also recommended Bill for the job. And I spoke to Senator Bateman, and I know, Mayor, you spoke to the governor. But then I saw on your resume when we were vetting you, I saw somebody whose reputation precedes him and whose opinion is very much respected, and that's former Judge Tom Miller. And Bill, you worked for Tom for many years, so I reached out to Judge Miller, and he had nothing but great things to say about Bill. He used the words loyal, intelligent, hardworking. And when I heard that from Judge Miller, who many consider to be one of the best judges in the entire state, I knew that I'm leaving this job in good hands. Please take care of my client, my most important client, and I know you will. And congratulations. Thank you, Mayor.
Who's right there?
Come on. There you go.
Next up, we're going to recognize our Denellen Volunteer Citizen of the Year for 2023. And this honor is bestowed upon Melissa Paul-John. Melissa's been a great asset to the Denellen Parks and Recreation Commission and volunteer for various other organizations. So this is a definite honor that should be bestowed upon her. Proclamation on awarding Melissa A. Paul-John, Denellen's 2023 Volunteer Citizen of the Year. Whereas Melissa Paul-John, Mastrian, is a lifelong resident of Denellen, attending Whittier School, John P. Faber Elementary School, and graduating from Denellen High School. And whereas Melissa has been married to Borough Council member Joseph Paul-John for 18 years. Together they have 3 daughters, Gianna, who is 13, Brindley, who is 11, and Kylie, who is 9. All who have participated in many community and recreation activities. And whereas today, Melissa has been a physical education and health teacher in Perth Amboy for the past 23 years. That's a great feat. Thank you for your service there, too. Melissa participated in several recreational activities throughout her childhood, such as basketball, cheerleading, and softball, and was a player on the Middlesex County College basketball team. And whereas Melissa has gotten her drive to volunteer and be active in her community from her mother, Barbara Mastrian. She always helped in Denellen, whether it be president of the PTO, coaching softball teams, member of the football fan club, and helping to start the Denellen High School project graduation. She led many fundraisers and was a great example of what it means to volunteer in a small community. So applause to you again. And whereas Melissa has volunteered for community activities for many years, before becoming an alternate member on the Denellen Recreation Commission in 2016, and then becoming an official member in 2017. In her role as a commissioner, Melissa devoted her time to helping with Christmas tree lighting events, Easter egg hunts, baseball and softball opening day, and Halloween parades, and other borough events. Throughout her years in Denellen, she has always been supportive of local initiatives and businesses and has worked at the Denellen Theater, Kisco's, and Zupco's. And whereas Melissa Pauljohn embodies all of the traits and characteristics to qualify her with the designation of Denellen's Volunteer Citizen of the Year. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Jason F. Salento, along with Borough Council, extending congratulations to Melissa and awarding her the honor of being Denellen's 2023 Volunteer Citizen of the Year. Family. Next is a presentation of Denellen's Lifetime Achievement Award for 2023. This one's going to become a bit of a surprise because we know this was the only way we were going to get him in the room. If it was a surprise, because he's a man of honor, integrity, and humility. So,
I'm gonna go.
How are you? How are you? So clearly, as you can see, our Lifetime Achievement Award is going to be bestowed upon Bill Euler. So,
Yeah, come on up. Sorry.
we're recording. Yeah, big family. Okay, our proclamation on awarding William Mueller, Denellen's 2023 Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. Whereas William Mueller is a longtime resident of Denellen, having moved here 37 years ago. And whereas Bill has been married to Betty for over 50 years, who is a member of the auxiliary, and together they have 3 children, Bill, Jeff, and Tracy, along with 7 grandchildren, all who are members of the American Legion. And whereas Bill has been a member of the Denellen American Legion Post 119 for over 19 years, and has served 7 times as commander, and is currently the Legion adjunct. And whereas he enjoys being the organizer for the Legion's picnic car show, volunteering his time for countless fundraising events, and working with the Scouts honoring all the veterans that have passed by putting hundreds of flags at their graves. And whereas Bill has been recognized by the State of New Jersey American Legion for increased membership, and also by the Denellen Police Department and Fire Department for his service to the Denellen community. And whereas he works in conjunction with the Borough and VFW Post 5479 on the annual Memorial Day Parade and ceremony, along with the Veterans Day service. And whereas Bill embodies all of the characteristics and attributes to qualify him with the designation of Denellen's Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Jason F. Salento, along with the Borough Council, extended congratulations to William Mueller in awarding him the honor of being Denellen's 2023 Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. Okay, so before we adjourn the meeting, I would like everybody to know immediately after this, those who are here as volunteers, you can join Lauren in the Recreation Office to sign your oath of allegiance. If you can't today, or those who are not here, you can sign them another time. And also, for everyone that is here, we are going to be going to the Art Annex directly after this. Food will be provided by the Denellen Hotel. And so, thank you, Peggy, for allowing us to use your establishment. Peggy Lockwood's here. And so, we would like to welcome everybody to the Art Annex immediately following the conclusion of the meeting. So, without further ado, I guess you can say, can I have a motion and a second to adjourn our first council meeting of the year?
Move it, Sigmund.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, happy and healthy New Year, everyone.